so that we can enable sustainable tech innovation ecosystem in UTM. We have had the first one also from School of Electrical Engineering from Dr. Yong Chifai. He's the CEO of DF Automation, and this is the second one under the series where we have also a young budding technopreneur from UTM, Dr. Muhammad Adib bin Sarijari. Dr. Muhammad Adib is the founder and CEO of one of UTM spin-off company specializing in Internet of Things technology. And the company name is, how should I pronounce it? Inates. Dr. Adib, Inates. How do you pronounce your company? Inates. That's good enough? Okay,
Inates, Prof. Inates.
Inates, yeah. Okay, so the spin-off company, which is mainly based on IoT, is Inates, yeah. And I believe, Dr. Adib, you have now ventured into other things that complement the IoT technology that your company is now offering, yeah. Dr. Adib obtained his PhD from Delft. How do I pronounce it? Did I pronounce it correctly? Delft.
Delft, Prof.
Delft University of Technology in Communication Engineering in 2016. Previously, before that, he received his Bachelor's in Engineering degree and Master's of Science in Electrical Engineering from UTM. He's now with the Department of Telecommunication Engineering at the School of Electrical Engineering, UTM. He's also now, you're still serving as an academic IT fellow, specifically in IoT technology with UTM Digital. Yeah, as well, you are also the founder and advisor to UTM Jazari Innovation Club. Yeah, Jazari. Yeah. Before founding Inates, Dr. Adib has already started his commercialization work with industries, and he has quite a broad base of client, including UMW, Shimano, and MMHE. Now he's operating under UTM ICC spin-off company under ICC. So as we all know, we in the R&D value chain here. We started maybe with fundamental research, and then we do applied research, and it's the vision of universities, UTM, and the faculty to have many of our researchers, to be able to commercialize their research, so that the research can have impact and benefit to the society and to the world, And when we form, spin-off company, not only it can benefit in terms of the sharing, and the provision of impact, the research to the society, the transfer of knowledge to the society and industry, but also we were looking for some commercial benefit that can be shared back with the university, so that we can use we can use the money to spend more research, especially in the particular field, so that we can get more and more financial independence, and we do not rely on the government and the government and the university alone, for funding our research. So that is what we want to do, But in terms of achievement, we have a lot more to do, in terms of commercialization of our research product, And one of the ways that we really encourage our researchers is to form spin-off companies, so that the commercialization of research product can be spin off without much bureaucracy from a government agency such as UTM. So ICC have a lot of initiative, to help our researchers in terms of commercialization of research product. We have now, if I remember correctly, in February, we have discussed in the Sub-Senate Committee on Research and Innovation on the revision of policies in terms of the spin-off company, and we also have the ICC also have proposed a number of initiatives to promote to promote entrepreneurships among our lecturers. So Dr. Adib, you have had experience with your company, and I believe is one of the healthy company, a healthy spin-off company of UTM, where you also contribute, not only in terms of knowledge, but also in terms of money, because now actually we expect people who do commercialization actually contributed back to UTM at least 50%, of their salary, income from university. And at the same time, we are also going to help. You, as you know, we also help you in bridging the company with our stakeholders and our partners. Our partners. Not only from your research group, but from other research group that we have contact with. And, I know you have gained from that initiative and the partnership that we include you. You also have some commercialization and services that you provide to other companies through UTM network. So I hope it's a win-win situation between the researchers, the spin-off company, and also UTM. So so I we all who do research, at the end of the day, we want to commercialize our research. We want to commercialize our research. For example, like people like me, we want to concentrate on doing the research. But you will reach one point, where it becomes difficult for you to manage both, the commercialization and the financial aspects of the research. How much you want to charge, how you market, how you deal in terms of the business aspect with focusing on the research itself. So maybe Dr. Adib, now you can share with us so that we can have more who are ready to have spin-off companies and also successful at that. So I hope this session is recorded. Asha, I hope this session is recorded because I cannot see any recording. So Faculty Engineering Webex, I hope you can record the session so that we can share it with more people. Not only limited to those who are here. And I saw in your Facebook, Prof. Shahid is also going to share this with UTHM staff. So Faculty Engineering, Nur, I hope you record this session. So without further ado, I pass the floor to Dr. Adib. Thank you, Dr. Adib, for agreeing to share with us. Now to you.
Terima kasih, Prof. Share screen, Prof, boleh?
Yes.
Okay, let me share my screen. Boleh nampak aku yang tu?
Boleh. Saya kalau tak ada saya record lah.
Okay, saya mula insyaAllah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa bitamimil khair. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat pagi kepada semua. Jutaan terima kasih kepada Prof. Naomi atas the very kind introduction and motivation as well. Appreciate very much. And saya juga ucapkan jutaan terima kasihlah kepada FE sebab terutama Prof. Naomi sebagai TDPI kita atas peluang untuk saya berkongsi sedikit sebanyak pengalaman sebagai founder dan CEO of a UTM spin-off company. And Prof. Naomi pun ada banyak tu projek dengan industri, cuma tak form spin-off je Prof. InsyaAllah. Saya nampak juga ada kawan-kawan yang saya kenal kat sini in person.
Tadi tak dengar daripada you ni, orang tua lagi penakut daripada orang.
InsyaAllah. Okay, jadi saya pun nampak ada kawan-kawan kat sini yang saya kenal in person yang memang nak mulakan ataupun yang dah mulakan, yang baru mula spin-off company. Sebenarnya banyak lagi saya sendiri kena belajar, jadi bukanlah layak untuk saya nak mengajar kat sini. Cuma saya kat sini untuk berkongsi sedikit sebanyak pengalaman dari lebih kurang 3 tahun kita running spin-off startup Ines. Moga ia menjadi aspirasi dan inspirasi kepada semua jadi panduan insyaAllah. Kalau tak banyak mungkin sedikit. Jadi insyaAllah sama-sama kita. Ini adalah content of my sharing today. InsyaAllah kita buat dalam bentuk casual je kalau boleh. Saya mula dengan cerita latar belakang spin-off kami. Orang kata tak kenal maka tak cinta. Betul ke? Kemudian saya akan kongsi sikit sebanyak the why and the how that I founded Inex. I can actually assure you that memang tipulah kalau ada orang kata running a startup tu senang. Ia penuh dengan air mata dan keringat lah sebenarnya. Akhirnya the why will keep us going and keep our motivation high lah. Kita bukan nak menakutkan kat sini, tapi itu adalah realitinya. Actually kalau nak dramatik sikit, dia sebenarnya berkaitan hidup dan mati lah. If you do it right, dia akan terus hidup dan tim akan terjaga insyaAllah, dan sebaliknya. On the other hand, we could benefit a lot from it. By benefit, I did not mean that about money, tapi it is more than that, and I'm going to talk about it nanti insyaAllah. Walaupun dengan cabaran-cabaran ni, saya terjun juga ke sini kepada spin-off. Kenapa? And that's I will talk also a bit on my motivation and why I'm doing this lah insyaAllah. Next, I will talk a bit on what are the preparation needed as a founder as well as the CEO that will run a startup according to my humble opinion. And last but not least, I would conclude with sesi mungkin kita bertukar-tukar fikiran dalam Q&A lah. I have been given 1 hour, cuma saya boleh cuba selesaikan dalam 45 minit dan kita boleh look at the Q&A lah, mana yang kita boleh jawab insyaAllah. Jadi saya mulakan dengan bit of background of Inex. Jadi Inex is an IoT-based spin-off company which is founded in February 2019. We have 3 core businesses: IoT solution and consultation, IoT product, as well as IoT training. All these are based on our IoT framework called IoT Wave, which is consists of a development guideline as well as modules that you can mix and match based on the IoT solution that you are required. With IoT Wave, our vision is actually to transform your business with the power of IoT technology. And this is some of our client and track records, including macam yang Prof sebut tadi, MMHE, ada juga BDB kat situ, Bina Darul Aman, Shimano, UNW, and we got many more lah. And okay, this is under the product section. Our flagship product is called Guard Expert Pro. This is to provide a real-time and convenience management of our security guard. How it's work, the guard will bring this handheld special made during the patrolling, and their location will be tracked in real time using IoT Wave location tracking module. In addition, this system also equipped with AI module which can detect any abnormality happen to your guard. For example, if they're being ambushed, all this information will be sent to the internet through IoT Wave data communication and management module. And now you can track and manage your guard activity from anywhere at any time. And the Guard Expert Pro is actually invented in our lab telecommunication software and system research group team about 5 years back in collaboration with Bahagian Keselamatan UTM. They come with us with their problem to manage the patrolling work by the security guards to ensure the safety and the safety of the campus. We come out with the Guard Expert Pro based on IoT solution. And we start with allocating the problem and the design of the solution to FYP students sebenarnya. And the FYP student design and develop the solution based on our IP copyright IoT framework, IoT Wave tadi. And then we continue when we see that there's a lot of potential there, then we continue with development by our RO, supported by GUP Fund and some other grant. It has been fully used Bahagian Keselamatan UTM since 3 years back, and right now Alhamdulillah it has been benefited more than 20 other sites in Malaysia lah. So kita dah bawa kepada commercialization. And mungkin saya kongsikan sedikit video sini, the latest development of this product, which is our Jaga Drone. This is a product that we launch, which is already launched by our YB Minister Datuk Noraini last month, if I'm not mistaken. In this project, we also upgrade the monitoring station, which is for the Guard Expert Pro just now, as well as for this Jaga Drone, which is a command center called Security Monitoring and Operation Center. Nanti kita tengok sikit ke depan. And this work is actually a synergy work with a lot of friends, and we feel blessed to be part of it. Alhamdulillah. We see, from this Jaga Drone is actually intended untuk buat patrolling, sebab UTM ni ada banyak terrain, belakang-belakang tu semua guide ronda dengan menggunakan scrambler, and it took 2 days, as well as this is for emergency response lah. And so this is the Jaga Drone that is currently developed and launched. And another one is the monitoring station, as I mentioned. This is called as MOC. This is collaboration with a lot of people, termasuk daripada FABU, daripada Mechanical Aero, juga daripada kami sendiri, Electrical Engineering, initiated by our RA. Okay, so okay, tengok sikit lagi tu. Ni meeting dengan Cik Fatah. Okay, while the video playing, maybe I would like to elaborate a bit more. You can see from our our experience with Guard Expert Pro. We spin back our experience and we propose a greater and more advanced solution. We gather with more friends. Together we synergize and further propose Jaga Drone and SMOC, which is a better and greater from the previous solution, which is Guard Expert Pro. We hope by this we could bring the output from this project to benefit UTM as well as to the others, inshallah. And in fact, if possible, we could commercialize and spin back the experience for more greater and advanced project. Okay, by this project is actually, in my humble opinion, it will create a sustainable technology and innovation ecosystem. Yeah. So, okay. So by this project, it's not stopping here. It's not stopping at research and commercialization, as you can see, but the experience and the network that we get and obtain from including the know-how with the industries, also we use to spin back into classroom. Okay, for your information. For example, we have created IoT courses for master level in SKE already 1.5 years now. Me and Dr. Roziha, I see Dr. Roziha is here as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Roziha, for supporting. We invite also friends. In this course, we also invite friends from the industries to be our guests, to give a guest lecture in our class. Me myself, this semester also teaching Introduction to Entrepreneurship, and I'm very happy to teach this subject with the experience from running in it. Alhamdulillah, I also invite a great entrepreneur from my network to give guest lecture to inspire students. This friends is a serious entrepreneur, and one of his company is already a unicorn. Okay, as you see, we get this network is from our spin-off activities. So that one of the benefit that we can obtain, inshallah. From the Guard Expert Pro just now, we further working on a total and comprehensive IoT solutions to include vehicle identification system, as well as recently added drone and advanced data analytic modules application. Okay, beside product, IoT Wave also, the IoT Wave framework also accelerate IoT solution for many industries. Our first solution is for a warehouse management system solution for Shimano. In this solution, we help them to enhance the process for the store in and store out of the pallet and automatically print and the invoice and import document. So the RFID technology is used here to recognize where the pallet to be stored and where it has to be taken from. It cut operation time about 50%. So it increase all the production and dia punya profit. So our asset tracking solution from MMHE, which is a subsidiary, MMHE is a subsidiary to MHB Berhad. We managed to reduce their tenth of million of profit loss due to misplaced or loss of spool or oil and gas pipe. The work is now more faster and easier. In this project, the requirement, including the need to withstand the requirement for this project, the RFID tag need to withstand about 2 tons of impact. and it require more complex software solution that make us starting to realize that we can actually synergize with the other expert in UTM, including from the materials team and as well as from the software engineering team. So Alhamdulillah, we synergize with them and we successfully delivered. As you see here, synergy actually can come naturally, but what we have to do is we have to come with open heart, inshallah. So we need to open for any possible of collaboration and share this prosperity. Next is our IoT Wave also helped to develop IoT-based water monitoring system. This is in UMK, and the latest discussion is our team with JPS, inshallah. And this is the industrial grade solution actually. So I know a lot of people is doing IoT water monitoring, but the one that we provide here is industrial grade with the sensors and the dashboard. We also have a few more to share, but I think I just give a few more to just give an idea what we have done with IoT Wave and what INET's activity are. And the one that I shared is not limited to lah, inshallah. This is another solution, is for waste collection monitoring and management system, where we can track and trace the waste collection, including which bins has already been picked up, how much ton currently the garbage collected, and the proof of collection with pictures. We have geofencing technology to assist the worker to use the system with minimum touch. And here is our training. The third activity under our company, which is training. So this training is to expose and uplift company competency in the era of IR 4.0. Basically, the module is available now immediately, and we previously periodically running the training where it's open for everybody to join. But also the training is also available for per request, where we could customize the training according to the needs of the client. For example, the one that we give to UMW. Among other solution with IoT Wave, we have solved a problem from quarry waging management system, that is from BDB, employee management system from FabTech. FabTech is a subsidiary to Daya Berhad, and we have many others. Okay, sorry, boleh. Okay, sorry, boleh nampak yang tu? And kalau boleh dengar, kalau ada apa-apa masalah tak jalan ke ni, boleh inform lah. This is cabaran online. Saya tak sure feedback kat belakang tu. I will continue a bit more, insyaAllah. We'll go to the second part of the second part of the sharing. And this is the history, okay, the why and the how and the why. Untuk makluman mungkin for the history, tim kami mula dengan IoT untuk satu tempoh yang agak lama lah. Sebelum ni IoT mungkin ramai pun tahu, dia dikenali dengan Wireless Sensor Network atau WSN. Dan ini telah menjadi bidang kepakaran tim kami, tim kita orang ni sebelum saya join pun. And saya join the team in 2006 masa saya buat projek tahun akhir sarjana muda. Dalam projek tu saya buat untuk hantar data dari wireless sensor network ke internet menggunakan teknologi 6LoWPAN lah. So we have already started with the 6LoWPAN and internet with that during that time. Antara geran pertama yang kita dapat untuk projek berkaitan IoT adalah eScience Fund pada 2006 kalau tak silap saya, and this is diketuai oleh RG our head of RG sekarang, Dr. Rozeha. And this project is to monitor untuk doktor monitor pesakit atau elderly daripada rumah masing-masing melalui internet. So SpO2, ECG and the heartbeat. And our first, but those are not commercialized. Okay, so our first commercialized product was a wireless sensor network called TELG with its own OS called Wise OS. Dengan TELG ni kita boleh gunakan untuk node ni untuk IoTize any system that you want to make the system IoT. Dan kita cuba bawa keluar dengan market dengan kerjasama beberapa with some companies. Adalah kita terjual beberapa unit dengan training sekali. Kita jual ni under vehicle ICC GTIM, sekarang dikenali dengan GTIM. So we use that vehicle before we create our own spin-off. Tapi berdasarkan pengalaman kita, membawa teknologi yang baru ke market adalah sesuatu yang tak mudah. Mungkin Prof. Naomi pun ada banyak pengalaman tu. Jadi sebenarnya penerimaan dan awareness about the benefit masih tak jelas lah kebanyakan untuk kebanyakan user. Kita je rasa dia very good, tapi for the user it's not as easy as that untuk dia terima lah. Hence sebenarnya kerja keras adalah amat diperlukan untuk kita betul-betul bawa produk kita macam yang advance ni ke market. And kita nak kena cari teknologis, kita panggil teknologis atau early adopter lah untuk orang-orang yang awal menerima ni dalam dalam marketing kita panggil teknologis atau early adopter. So we have to find them. And so hence bila kita sebab dia tak mudah ni, bila kita mengharapkan orang lain yang usahakan, macam kita harapkan company lain yang bawa keluar and so on, dia berdasarkan pengalaman kami, mungkin ada pengalaman yang berjaya, tapi berdasarkan pengalaman kami dia memang sukarlah untuk berjaya, and dia tak berjaya. There's no they're not because they are not as passionate as us, and this is not has been a success lah on our case. In 2017 we invented a product on top of the Telgi Note, using the node that we have, which is an IoT-based access door or smart office access solution. Sistem ni boleh monitor dan manage in real time orang yang nak keluar masuk lab or office, and kita dapat sokongan dari SKE untuk sistem ni, and kita pasang di semua lab research 24 jam. We then also sell some of them to other offices, including yang paling jauh kita pernah pasang POC dekat Penang lah. That version come with face recognition. Okay, selain tu pada tahun yang sama we also come with IoT training module yang kita boleh customize as I mentioned untuk klien. This two product kita bawa ke market dengan tim kami sendiri. So kita start marketkan sendiri, kita pasang sendiri, kita do maintenance, and penjualan juga melalui UTeam. So as you see here, actually if you want to start doing commercialization, you can just use the vehicle that already provided by UTM lah untuk test the water lah, either there's market or not. Masa ni kita dah start buat sale, tapi tim tak teratur and income tak menentu sebab kita tak all out dan tak tersusun dengan tak ada knowledge keusahawanan yang betul. Terutamanya we don't have knowledge on strategy, business model and finance. Kita realize this and kita start bincang untuk lancarkan a company. Alhamdulillah, saya ada sedikit sebanyak kawan usahawan and saya berbincang minta nasihat mereka when we want to launch this company. But when we discuss, we conclude that our revenue is not enough that required us to open running our own company. So we conclude that the ecosystem in UTM, including bawah UTeam dan ATSB, dah cukup untuk kami teruskan dulu. Cuma kita perlu susun tim dan bergerak dengan lebih strategik. Ini adalah pandangan dan nasihat saya lah berdasarkan pengalaman kita kepada yang nak buat spin-off. You can always use the vehicle that is actually made ready by UTM, iaitu ICC UTeam, untuk you start bermula sampai you hit a revenue yang berdasarkan guideline yang perbincangan saya dengan a lot of usahawan, if you can hit a revenue of 100k per year, then you can actually consider untuk buka, insyaAllah. And dalam masa yang sama, not only the revenue, you need to find a mentor and kawan-kawan yang berpengalaman untuk berbincang, sebab sebab dia orang dah banyak makan garam berbanding kita lah. Okay, asam dan garam lah. Jadi our first breakthrough yang last kali ni, okay. So our first breakthrough is bila kita dapat project to solve masalah di Shimano just now on their warehouse operation. Here our sale hit the threshold more than about 200k in total lah project tu. Dalam masa yang sama kita nampak kita juga perlu untuk projek-projek yang sebab there's a big project, so kita nampak kita perlu kekalkan tim yang hebat yang kita ada. So if the team gone and then we gone lah. So we need to kekalkan tim tu. Jadi untuk kes kami, tim yang bersama kami ni telah sekian lama lah ada daripada dengan kita sejak postgraduate and then go for RO, dan saya percaya some other team also have the same case. Ada yang saya kenal personally, ada mungkin dah juga lebih daripada 10 tahun tim dia. And this team kadang-kadang dah macam keluarga kita sendiri. Some of the team, some of them bersama kita mencapai lebih 10 tahun, dia bertukar-tukar grant, kadang-kadang grant tu, kadang-kadang even tak ada grant dan tak ada bayaran untuk dia orang beberapa bulan. This is our personal experience, and we have been senang dan susah together, and we grow and advance together. Diorang ni biasanya tim kita ni willing untuk stay, tapi jika hanya sebagai RO ataupun postgraduate student, masa depan mereka sebenarnya tak jelas lah, baik untuk kita tapi tak baik untuk diorang. And that's why the spin-off menyediakan platform bagi mereka untuk kekal dengan lebih sustainable. Mereka dapat jalani kehidupan mereka dengan lebih normal, ada pekerjaan yang lebih baik and masa depan yang lebih jelas dan kukuh. Termasuk bila dia nak buat pinjaman and so on, dia boleh start buat lah kalau dia nak beli rumah and so on. Tapi kalau dia SRO and just a postgraduate, it's not easy for them. On the other hand, untuk kita, kita dapat teruskan advance ke depan tanpa kita perlu restart the team. Sebab kalau dia bertukar-tukar tu, kita kena restart the team and it will be bergantung sepenuhnya kepada availability of grant. So in this case, if you see all this make the spin off baik untuk kita dan baik untuk mereka. Okay, sebab yang lain, yang kedua tu adalah yang menyebabkan saya membuka and jump into this ocean of challenge ialah speed lah, macam Prof. Nami sebut tadi, the speed. So dalam operasi dan dalam membuat keputusan with industries, industri memang nak semua cepat. Kalau asyik kena tunggu je, memang susah lah untuk collaboration ataupun peluang daripada mereka. Contohnya minggu lepas saya ada pitch untuk satu program MTDC dengan this is program under MEDEC, Kementerian Keusahawanan dan juga MTDC. So agensi dan kementerian sendiri, kalau tanya saya lah, dia tanya kat kita sama ada kita ada tim yang full time dan tetap tak. Okay? Sebab dia orang concern the delivery kalau kita tukar-tukar tim atau bergantung kepada pensyarah semata-mata. So tambahan lagi, mungkin also to note here that bila kita telah diberikan kepercayaan kepada industri, kita memang kena all out siang dan malam lah untuk deliver with all cost. Okay? Ada satu time bulan puasa tu kita orang kat UMW memang pasang on the tag sampai ke malam lah, walaupun hujan. So that is how all out we are. Okay, sebab kalau kita tak deliver, kita tak langsung membawa nama baik UTM. And I think we have heard that if you are very lot of time that you go with the industries, when you talk about university ni, dia ada a bit skeptical. And dalam business kadang-kadang kita pernah dengar orang kata, there's another thing that to note here, dalam business kadang-kadang ada orang kata kalau kita dapat apa projek kita terima je, and then kita fikirlah macam mana nak deliver nanti. Ini pun betul up to a certain extent, tapi kalau pada pandangan saya, if you really know how to do it, or you know who can help you to do it, you can take it up. Tapi kalau kita ambil tanpa melihat betul-betul kemampuan dan ekosistem kita, kita tak ada manpower yang tetap and so on, ia boleh membawa kepada bad reputation to us dan dia akan ada masalah sustainability lah. So mungkin sekali tu je kita dapat. Okay, and even worse, mungkin dia akan membawa rekod yang tak baik lah untuk UTM. So benda-benda ni kita kena fikir lah. Kadang-kadang kita terima je, tapi I think we have to think about it. And sebab tu lah as a spin-off startup founder and CEO, you need to work almost 24/7 to deliver the project that you have. And this one thing that we need to ready physically and mentally. Okay, initialization of a spin-off also the third one, the why there is initiation of the spin-off company also berikan kita capability untuk form team yang lebih complete dan sustainable, termasuk keperluan on marketing, engineers, HR and finance. Ini memberikan kita actually capability untuk kita perlahan-lahan fokus kepada business as the owner. So kita boleh perlahan-lahan fokus kepada business as well as perkara-perkara yang lebih penting seperti technical, technology and solution innovation. So part-part seperti pemasangan, maintenance, macam purchasing, procurement dan yang lain-lain tu you can trust your team to help out lah. Okay, kalau kita tak ada that team, then you have to do everything by your own. Last but not least is, in my humble opinion, adalah menjadi tanggungjawab kita untuk membawa teknologi yang kita bangunkan di universiti ni yang telah memakan banyak tenaga dan masa, serta tak lupa juga funding terutama daripada kementerian dan agensi untuk kita mempunyai holistic plan, okay, di atas apa yang kita dah dapat dan usahakan supaya manfaatnya kepada dan kembali kepada yang sepatutnya. Okay, seperti yang disebutkan oleh Dato' NC dalam engagement yang lepas tu, the highest impact to research is when it can benefit the society. Jadi sebab research kita mostly funded by them. And mungkin quote sikit daripada Rasulullah di sini, sebaik-baik manusia adalah antara kamu yang paling banyak manfaat kepada orang lain lah. I think semua orang pun very well versed about this hadis. Jadi insyaAllah sama-sama kita. And mungkin secara lebih holistiknya kalau saya boleh sebut kat sini on this point, ialah kita perlulah bertanggungjawab dan bersedia untuk menjawablah kat hadapan Allah nanti apa yang kita dapat. Itu adalah consideration and the highest motivation that I have lah. And juga peluang yang kita ni sebenarnya bukan sahaja untuk menjawab tu, tapi dia adalah peluang dan ruang yang kita dapat untuk kalau kita buka spin-off ni, this is the ruang and peluang yang kita dapat untuk cari bekalan di akhirat lah, insyaAllah. And because you know that you can do it. Okay, saya mungkin saya minta maaf lah, bukan masuk untuk mengatakan semua orang perlu buka spin-off. Okay, ICC patut happy kalau saya cakap macam tu kan. Okay, kita promote habis-habisan buka spin-off. Tapi at least kita boleh letakkan dalam pemikiran kita every proposal untuk funding yang kita minta, apakah vision akhir untuk kita, untuk tujuan kita untuk projek ni. Walaupun research kita contohnya, yalah ramai orang kata tak semua ada di TRL yang tinggi, tapi walaupun research kita di TRL 1 fundamental, tapi with the right mindset kita boleh mula dan letak dalam pemikiran kita, kalau kita ke TRL 9 dan nak komersialkan nanti, apa agaknya research ni akan jadi daripada TRL awal tu. Siapa yang dia akan benefit, dan daripada situ kita juga ada benefit untuk research yang lebih konsisten. I mean this is also for us. So daripada pemikiran macam ni, kita juga akan ada research yang lebih konsisten, tak bertukar-tukar, and we keep on going on that particular direction. Dan dalam masa yang sama saya percaya kita boleh nampak jelas lah how we can synergize with the others and collaborate dengan yang lain-lain. Also macam mana kita nak membawa hasil ni kepada industri dan society. Atau mungkin kita juga boleh menuju ke arah initiate. So kita boleh nampak itu, kita boleh menuju ke arah how to initiate our own spin-off company to materialize the benefit that we actually think from the beginning too. At the end, berdasarkan pengalaman peribadi kami, in realizing your dream, such as membawa teknologi kita keluar ni, there's nobody else that willing to push as hard as yourself, because nobody has a stronger belief in your own research. Okay, that's what we ni lah. Okay, so akhirnya a spin-off of company yang kita buat tu adalah sebenarnya untuk melengkapkan ekosistem teknologi dan innovation yang kita ada. So as you can see here, putaran hasil daripada R&D dari lab yang bawa ke real user menerusi commercialization yang kita usahakan tadi dengan sepenuh tenaga dan kepercayaan kepada kita punya produk sendiri. We go to commercialization, and then kemudian from commercialization kita akan memperolehi pengalaman as well as feedback from the user. And kita akan gunakan dan ambil kira input untuk menghasilkan research yang lebih baik. And ini membentuk satu sustainable ecosystem, okay, yang baik untuk kita dan untuk universiti lah, juga untuk negara insyaAllah. Tapi to note here, it is not as easy as you see. Sebenarnya untuk mendengar feedback daripada user, kan, ia memerlukan kita mempunyai hati yang terbuka dengan to be humble lah. Because some of the feedback kadang-kadang a bit harsh, kan? Tapi kita kena fokus kepada ambil komen yang betul dan jadikan those to be our feedback to our research, and we need not to be defensive. So kita terima apa yang baik dan kita boleh masuk lingkaran keluar tinggi kiri apa yang kita tak suka dengar. Satu prinsip yang saya sendiri dan tim saya pegang, dan berdasarkan pengalaman, we learn this in a hard way actually. Berdasarkan pengalaman kita, this is the principle that we have. Kalau kita dapat terima feedback, kalau kita tak dapat terima feedback mereka, kadang yang saya kata harsh tadi, and kita boleh bergaduh dengan dia orang dan katalah kita menang dalam kita punya fighting tu, mungkin disebabkan oleh kita memang di pihak yang betul, but actually in reality we are not actually winning, but we are losing. Because bila kita menang dan dia orang yang kalah, dia akan menyebabkan mereka ataupun industri tak happy dan dia tak akan teruskanlah collaboration dengan kita tu. I think maybe you guys also have some experience on this. But if we stay open, menjadi pendengar yang baik kita panggil, and fokus kepada apa yang kita perlu buat, insyaAllah kerjasama akan berterusan dan bawa kepada kejayaan. What we need here is we need to focus on the big picture. not to win the fight, a small fight, but to win the big fight. We want to win the war. Okay, we don't want to win the battle, but we want to win the war. And also mentioned at the beginning, the sustainable ecosystem not stopping at only research and commercialization. Untuk pengalaman kami sendiri, the experience and the network, know-how and know-who yang kita dapat connection with the industry and so on that we gain. Also, we spin back off to classroom to provide better syllabus as well as better teaching content and teaching cerita, teaching story. So that's based on our experience. Okay. So I think I'm getting to the last part, bahagian terakhir dalam perkongsian pada hari ini, insyaAllah. What is the essential knowledge yang kita perlukan as a CEO to run a startup to ensure the sustainability of a company? Because we are talking here about startup, and we are not talking about company that is already established. So running a startup is not as easy macam dalam cerita tu lah, and so everything is good kan. So lot of things need to be prepared. So saya jumpa banyak startup yang running their business and focus on dia punya day-to-day operations, sebab day-to-day operation menyebabkan kita sibuk, dan kesebukan menyebabkan kita tak spend time dalam melihat the big picture and hala tuju yang lebih jauh. So this need to be addressed, and this need to be think of lah. And this is not to say that saya sentiasa buat perkara ni, tapi this is just to share my thought as well as the thought from the Silicon Valley champion, which is contohnya macam Steve Blank, Eric Rice, and Alex Osterwelder, and some others lah. Okay, so essentially untuk ni mungkin semua pun dah tahu, there's 4 types of startup entrepreneur which is summarized by Steve Blank. So Steve Blank actually is a professor to Eric Rice. Eric Rice is the one who wrote the Lean Startup book, which I believe that this is one of the book that you must read if you are going for tech entrepreneur startup. Okay, well, so you can find out this book. In fact, the content and the idea presented in this book by Eric Rice too is actually coming from Steve itself. Okay, so apa yang Steve kata? In the first type of startup is a lifestyle startup, where this is a lifestyle startup ni ialah contohnya classic example yang Steve bagi ialah California Surfer kan kat US. Some of them actually they teach surfing, and dia buka kedai mengajar surfing. Bila cukup duit dia tutup kedai and they enjoy surfing dekat pantai tu. Bila duit habis, then dia open again kedai tu, and then bila dah cukup duit dia tutup balik, dia pergi surfing lagi. Dia buka kedai cuma untuk for their passion. So this is a lifestyle startup which is actually just for because of passion, not because of real entrepreneur ni lah. Not to say entrepreneur, not to maknanya this is also not to say this is not entrepreneur, but this is also considered as one of the startup entrepreneur by Steve. So this is one of it. The second one is actually called small business startup. Contohnya kedai runcit, carpenter, plumber, termasuk juga UI designer. Diorang ni build business to allow them to be self-employed, but don't wake up in the morning to change the world. Okay, they make like for example 100k per year, and they are doing great. Okay, this is the startup that majority of the people of non-tech see. So non-tech also see this type of business as their way. In fact, bagi orang-orang awam di United States, okay, this is what they are referring if they are talking about entrepreneurship and startup. So untuk orang awam di US, I believe that also applicable untuk Malaysia juga. Mungkin kita pun banyak yang tengok ke situ lah. If you are mixing with others macam especially daripada Medac, kalau daripada Medac, this is majority is the startup or the entrepreneur that they are actually talking about. The third of the entrepreneur is the scalable startup. They call it scalable startup, and this startup is born to be big. Or this is a high growth startup. The founder have actually $1 billion vision from day one. This type of startup is designed to be big from the beginning, and this is the startup by definition to the Silicon Valley. And the fourth is a type of startup that is relatively new. It emerged around 9 to 10 years ago. This called a viable startup, and this type of startup also born to be big. But the goal is actually to sell the startup to other larger company once it is boom. Contohnya company who making gaming apps, mobile apps, ada advertising apps, and by the way, this is the startup that the Lean Startup book that I mentioned just now by Eric Rice. This is the startup on the Lean Startup book, which is good to be practiced for lah, if that is your startup punya ni vision. So among these four, you need to decide which one are you. And for us, if we are really launching a startup untuk matlamat dan manfaat peluang pekerjaan, membawa teknologi kepada real benefit, and so on that we have mentioned above. So in my humble opinion, number 3 ataupun even number 4 will be our aim lah. But so you have to think about this, okay? Ada sikit lagi, sorry kalau saya ambil masa sikit. To prepare, just to share a bit more, to prepare leading a startup, to prepare to be leading a startup sebagai seorang yang tak pernah mendapat pendidikan secara formal untuk bisnes, myself has to spend a time and I have to be fast bagi mendapatkan pendedahan kepada knowledge yang menjadi asas kepada driving the startup dan memastikan this startup is sustainable. Okay, technical, yang pertama adalah technical skill, which is actually sesuatu yang saya percaya ada pada semua as in UTM as a researcher, and actually kat sinilah kita bermula. And selain technical, among the most important knowledge yang kita perlu cari is on the marketing and sales. As in my experience, this is actually the hardest lah. Sebab kita tak boleh kawal, kita boleh kawal tim kita boleh buat produk canggih-canggih, tapi kita tak boleh kawal orang nak adapt that technology. And so this is your strategy on your marketing and sales. And in fact, di Silicon Valley, 95% of the startup fail. Okay, mungkin semua orang tahu kan, 90% daripada startup dekat Silicon Valley tu fail. And majority of them fail not because of the technology is not enough. Okay, macam kita kan, teknologi kita dah tinggi. Tapi they fail because mostly because of not enough customer lah. It's not because not enough technology, but there's not enough customer. So this shown that the marketing and sales is very, very important. Selain tu, knowledge on strategy, financial as well as leadership adalah amat penting. Kita nak mengemudi satu tim yang perlu agile dan dynamic because we are running a tech startup. The CEO need to be the driver yang ada asas kepada semua ni, but not limited to this 5 lah. So mungkin ada lagi yang lain, tapi I would say this is among the core. Okay, just to share about myself. As for myself, this is among the formal courses, only the formal. So this is the formal courses that saya ada rezeki untuk be part of it and learn. I should be very thankful to my good friend Dr. Rahayu, kalau Dr. Rahayu ada, ataupun the video yang saya share kat dia. Mentioning this because her willingness to make a startup crash course for us 2 hari penuh pada 2018, saya ingat lagi. And we begin to know about BMC, finance and others. We have exposure on the startup and business. Alhamdulillah. And then I learn a bit more about BMC and it is anjuran yang kedua tu is anjuran ICC itself from Prof. Rohaizat. Then I also attend BMC course by MTDC program. BMC sebenarnya adalah sesuatu yang amat penting dan asas untuk kita. So daripada BMC ni, you can see the tangibility of your product to go for business and to go to mass market. And hence I really suggest you to go and look for this if you were to begin. I continue with the other one of the most important knowledge, which is with the one down here. One of the most important knowledge in business, in fact in our daily life sebenarnya, which is pitching. Okay, which is pitching. This is this is very essential because for us as lecturer, we used to talk like this one, half an hour, 1 hour, and so on and so forth. In pitching, usually you have to pitch in like 3 minutes is typical, 5 minutes. So you have to deliver all your content in those and all the EC too must be very, very important. Okay, and it can be learned. Mula saya masuk dalam this course, I think it's almost impossible. But when you are there, then you know that this is actually possible, and it make your your view on delivering your content change from before. So even when you are actually delivering to students. Okay, so in pitching, I learned this with Superb Teraju, and this is an intense course, and this course is actually given to bootcamp to participant yang the winner of the regional Superb punya ni the regional ni yang winner, and then they go for bootcamp, and this bootcamp is very intense. Mungkin saya nampak Dr. Diana ada tadi tu. Dr. Diana boleh beritahu how intense is the bootcamp. Pagi sampai malam, kadang 2 jam, 3 jam dia tidur. We go for 4 days all out, and then our team managed to pass the semi-final, and we went to final, and we get 1 more day coaching by the coaches. So this is among the important as well. Others include others training that I have went through is include a bootcamp with Cradle organized by ICC. Here I get to know my coach, Coach Rizal, and I still with him a lot of personal coaching and share of networks with him. Then we have with SME Corp bootcamp. Thanks to Dr. Mariam. Dr. Mariam tak join, dia bagi tahu hari ini. But thanks for her because dia rope me in this bootcamp. Then I have with iProcom. And the latest is my program with MTDC sponsored by Perbadanan Usahawan Johor. Other than that, I also undergoes a lot of entrepreneurship seminar and discussion, including personal coaching on finance by Dr. Rohaya. Thank you, Dr. Rohaya. UTM Excite, MTDC, as well as our own business circles. So I have many business circles already, Alhamdulillah. So this give us opportunity to have place to discuss and to exchange thought and peluang. As you see here, okay, all in all, it's hard work, but I would say this is extremely exciting. Okay, I'm keep on going because this is extremely exciting. Kita perlu actually berkorban lah banyak masa dan tenaga untuk perkara ni. If we were to jump here. And it also actually, not to mention that it also memerlukan pengorbanan duit lah sebenarnya. Because we are running a startup, again as I mentioned, we are running a startup, not running an already established company. Some of our own UTM spin-off company that I know, dia spend hundred of thousands pocket money dia sendiri untuk starting up. And some of them potong gaji untuk pinjaman sana sini kan, pinjaman UTM ataupun pinjaman daripada bank. Tapi the reward is priceless, and it's very hard to say by word the reward. You have to do it to be able to feel it. Okay, cuma at the end, as I have addressed at the beginning, the why is very crucial, and it will keep you motivating and keep you going. If you do it just for money, you will never make it. Itulah wallahu alam. Okay, anyway, that's all actually the content from myself and my experience. But to end up, I just would like to share a bit about yang Prof. Pranami also mentioned just now. For all this required knowledge, recently ICC launched ICC Cube. There's a lot of support is said to be being prepared, and the most structured program is there. And semoga Allah permudahkanlah pelaksanaan program ni, and it will be good bantuan yang amat baik untuk mereka yang nak bermula. Tapi mungkin saya boleh sebut kat sini, walau bagaimanapun kalau ada ICC kat sini, saya juga amat berharap untuk ICC tengoklah kami yang berdiri dengan spin-off already, and if possible I hope semua, I know that everybody has heard about a lot about this, and mungkin dah masanya untuk pihak ICC bantu and address lah, insyaAllah. Okay, again, I would say this is a very nice structured program yang dirancang oleh ICC. You should be, I strongly urge you to be part of it if you seriously consider to launch a spin-off. Okay, this is our happy family, a lot of happy activities together. Hari keluarga, kemas office, jamuan, macam-macam lah. So this is nikmat berukhuwah. Itu saja insya-Allah. Terima kasih sebab mendengar dan saya serahkan kepada moderator lah, Prof Naomi ataupun daripada FE insya-Allah. Terima kasih.
Okey, terima kasih Dr. Adib, perkongsian yang sangat berguna dan baik ya daripada pengalaman Dr. Adib sendiri. Jadi kita pun tahu ya Dr. Adib melalui pelbagai training ya untuk menjadi usahawan yang berjaya ya. Daripada mula ya macam mana Dr. Adib acquire knowledge daripada projek kelas ya, projek PSM kan?
Betul.
Asalnya daripada projek PSM, jadi bertuah pula dapat Dr. Roziha yang bantulah kan.
Alhamdulillah.
Lecturer yang bantu kakak ibu lecturer yang bantu
Macam mak saya tu.
mak lecturer yang bantu, kemudian ada kumpulan lepas tu berbagai-bagai training yang diberikan oleh kerajaan dan juga UTM sendiri ya, sehingga Dr. Adib boleh berdiri sampai macam sekarang lah ya. Dan saya pun tengok perkembangan walaupun daripada jauh ya, bagaimana Dr. Adib masa ke semasa membaiki produk tu sampai sekarang dah ada jaga drone dan kita demonstrate melalui penggunaan dalam UTM sendiri kan ya, selain daripada beberapa industri. Jadi saya bukalah kepada soal jawab saya buka kepada kawan-kawan untuk bertanyakan soalan kepada Dr. Adib. Anyone? Any question?
Assalamualaikum. Tadi
Waalaikumsalam. Saya ni.
Tadi nak tanya dari sudut sebab saya pun baru lagi kan, kadang-kadang struggle lah in terms of macam mana tadi manage dari sudut publication dan juga masa yang diperuntukkan untuk company ni. Macam mana, how do you manage benda tu lah? Adakah contohnya memang company yang menjadi, kalau kata kalau kita ambil percentage dalam satu tahun tu 80% memang company, 20% lagi ada fokus perkara lain, ataupun ada ramuan-ramuan lain tak macam mana untuk dapatkan keseimbangan yang lebih baik lah?
Okey, Prof saya terjawab ke Prof?
Sila.
Okey. Terima kasih Amir. Soalan susah ni. Okey, kalau sebut publication tu nanti Prof Naomi akan tengok kat Dr. Roziha lah tu. Kita orang memang struggling on publication. But to mention, we are struggling not because of we did not do it. We struggling on the publication because we just started to acquire students lah. Mungkin untuk makluman Prof Naomi jugalah. So we recently got a lot of students for our postgraduates. So I think in my opinion, as we are now being here after our PhD and after being a lecturers, kita kebanyakannya kita akan serahkan kepada team students lah untuk bantu untuk publications, as well as not only students but as well as I would say that we need to work in team lah. Seperti yang Datuk NC selalu mention, even from masa Datuk dalam NCPI lagi, working in group is the only way lah pada saya lah. So working in group is the only way that we can actually deliver all the 7 P's. In fact, not only the one that Amir mentioned tu, but also the others. Okay, so the 7 P's. So untuk publication for now, like for example our group, we have our strong members yang memang strong in publication, so we contribute to the team, and then insyaAllah dari paper-paper yang dia write tu adalah kita punya portion di situ, and with the students that we have insyaAllah juga membantu. To add up on the students, in my opinion, actually spin-off also membantu students, yang mana we will get a bit of branding and capaian keluar yang people will approach us because of our track record. That's one. And in delivering the student punya project pun, mungkin Dr. Zahar pun ada kat sini, we have our almost weekly punya seminar, and we see the progress of student, and we rope the student yang ada peluang untuk join in yang spin-off punya activity, yang mana the research is related to the one that we actually doing. Like for example, in our case is location tracking, indoor location tracking and so on. we provide the test bed for them to use and to run their experiment and so on. So spin-off dan research group is working very close together untuk drive this ke depan. Dari segi masa so masa ni kadang-kadang kita mostly actually formally we have actually our agreement yang kita diluluskan oleh pihak universiti, but I think we are kalau Datuk Wahid kata dulu, kita ni macam sotong lah kan, sometimes we are there, sometimes we are here and so on so forth. But to tell you about time management is very important. Not only time management but team management is also very important. That's why I mentioned di awal tadi, part of my sharing is you need to have the spin-off to get a complete team, okay, so that you don't do everything. Even though macam kawan saya kata, CEO sebenarnya bukan chief operating officer, executive officer, tapi CEO adalah chief of everything, kan? So we have to do everything, but with the team then we can mobilize the team and it can balance, insyaAllah. And even, in fact, it's not only balance, you can go far with the team, kan? Contohnya dulu saya punya profesor selalu ni lah, kan, saya punya profesor, saya dan Dr. Rozia punya profesor dulu selalu kata, kalau you are in management, you get PA and so on, but when you are here as a lecturer, then you don't have PA and tak ada tangan lain, and you do everything by yourself. But when you have spin-off, you ada team yang boleh bantu you untuk fokus kepada kerja yang lebih utama. Contohnya on the strategy or on the teaching, on the content of the teaching, as I mentioned just now, to create a new content of the teaching, even to communicate as a front page, as a muka depan untuk communicate with the industries, like Prof. Naomi mentioned just now, we have recently with MMHE, muka depan tu kami lah, tapi muka belakang tabir tu is the team. So meaning that spin-off also can help you out in this method, okay? But nasihat saya ialah you need to really plan for your spin-off sustainably lah. If not, then it will be backfire where semua DJ cacar marba dan you are lost control. Wallahualam. Amin. Saya harap saya menjawab soalan tu.
Okay, menjawab. Terima kasih tadi.
Terima kasih Dr. Amir.
Okey, soalan lain. Terima kasih. Soalan lain ada? Kawan-kawan lain nak tanya soalan? Okey, ada lagi? Siapa yang masih cuak nak buka spin-off ni? Saya pun tengah berfikir juga ni, sebab bila tak buka spin-off ada keburukan dia lah. Macam satu, kita tak menang tangan macam Dr. Adib kata. Satu lagi macam kita pun tak serius tau, sebab kita tak menganggap dia satu perniagaan. Jadi macam kita tolak, kita macam tolak lah. Saya kata macam kalau saya nak buat 2 je projek industri ataupun consultation dalam satu masa, selain pada research saya dan kerja-kerja lain lah. Saya nak buat 2 je, tapi banyak permintaan dan kita pun tak tahu siapa, kita pun rugi, orang lain pun rugi kan, dan kita charge pun tak kerti. Kita charge sebab kita tak payah sustain kan, kita charge pun murah, tu kita tak boleh full time kan. Jadi pada saya ada towards the end ni, saya nak pencen ni lah, towards the end ni, saya nampak ada beberapa benda lah yang saya rasa macam kalau I'm younger, mungkin akan pergi pas macam Dr. Adib ataupun Dr. Af kan, if I was younger lah kan. Jadi puas hati tak Dr. Adib sekarang ni? Puas hati tak?
Ada lagi tu Prof, apa dia?
Ada tak benda yang you regret bila you dah ada spin off ni, yang you rasa macam apa yang you paling happy sekali sekarang ni, now that you have taken the path of forming company lah, yang you rasa macam untuk semua orang tahulah benda ni, dari segi duit ke, kaya sekarang ke, atau apa kan, yang you wish semua orang buat spin off ni kan, kenapa tunggu-tunggu lagi macam tu lah kan. Apa you nak cakap pasal tu?
Terima kasih Prof. As I mentioned, duit tu sebenarnya would be secondary, or in my case not even in my dictionary lah sebenarnya. Saya pun we are not actually looking for the money, and if you are bila kita berada di dalam circle business, biasanya orang akan, especially yang ni lah, yang tech business entrepreneur, dia orang semua akan cakap duit akan datang sendirilah. So the thing is your spirit. What do you want actually to achieve? Okay, so macam saya kongsikan tadi, we want to actually bring one of it is we want to bring the teknologi and kita ambil tanggungjawab yang kita ada apa tu kan sebelum ni in my own experience I'm not talking about the others, mungkin dia ada pengalaman yang lain. In my own experience, and I always talk to Dr. Rozeha, we have to be responsible on the money that we have been obtained from the beginning. It's million of money from duit rakyat, and where you actually heading to. So with that is one of the main goal and main motivation. Secondly is my team sendiri pernah ada satu masa tu sampai 6 bulan tak ada gaji, kan? But they are still willing to stay with us, and I see this cannot be untuk tak boleh terus macam tu, and that's why we need the spin off to sustain the circle. They are willing to stay as I mentioned, but I mean we are as orang yang ada kemampuan untuk buat spin off tu, we need to take charge lah ataupun to take responsible untuk buka, dan dalam masa yang sama we need to take responsible untuk belajar banyak benda. Kalau Prof Naomi mention yang regrets tu mungkin tak ada lah, tapi kalau yang cabarannya Prof Naomi ialah manage time, macam Dr. Amir pun tanya tadi, managing time is very very challenging, but alhamdulillah so far so good. The great thing is a lot, Prof Naomi. I think Dr. Prof Naomi pun mungkin boleh nampak lah a lot of Prof Naomi walaupun tak spin off tapi lot of commercialized activity tu. Jadi a lot of things that you can obtain and gain from initiating spin off. Tapi dalam masa yang sama mungkin saya pun boleh juga emphasize di sini, masa saya ke belakang sikit, the sustainability of the company ni yang kalau saya boleh, inilah berdasarkan pengalaman saya yang ini, the sustainability of the company yang kita bina ni not only with the spin off that we actually open, tapi the sustainability with other industry partner as well as other researcher. Okay, with other researcher, kalau di UTM tu we become bigger and bigger lah, kawan-kawan makin ramai sebab kita ada projek tu, kita rope in this team. Kita ada kawan tu, contohnya saya selalu rope in team Dr. Af, and Dr. Af now he has a spin off. Kita juga selalu rope in Dr. Adham, Dr. Masita and so on. So we rope in and we make our friends become larger, not only for the company. Now mungkin yang kita ambil tu untuk selesaikan masalah company, but after that we also research kita semua kita akan collaborate jadi sinergi tau. Dia punya ni jadi naturally synergize. As well as from mechanical, saya dengan tim Azlan daripada mechanical bahan kan, anak-anak murid Prof kan so those are the things that actually obtain, and now we are actually getting more with kita kenal dengan Fabu punya team, and kita kenal dengan Awam punya team. So the spin off make us connected with the others, and that ukhuwah sebenarnya dia membina ukhuwah atas satu objektif untuk kita sama-sama bawa teknologi ni untuk lebih baik, dan itu memang best lah dan manis. Prof, mungkin itu adalah sedikit komen daripada saya untuk yang itu.
Okay, jadi last round ada sesiapa lagi nak tanya ke, nak berkongsi ke? Saya nampak nama-nama besar tu juga yang ada dalam list Dr. Mariani
Dr. Mariani pun ada tu, Dr. Mariani pun boleh bagi pandangan.
Betul, nanti dia next lah, nanti kita akan suruh dia cakap juga tu, Dr. Mariani, you get ready lah. Kita pun tahu kan, you memang ialah ikon-ikon commercialization UTM lah kan, yang berjaya kan. Okay, jadi ada soalan lagi. Dan saya juga tahu dalam list tu, saya tengok dalam list tu, ada yang saya tahu memang kalau saya nak menilai dari segi paper ke apa ke memanglah kurang, tetapi you ada kekuatan yang lain. Saya ada nama-nama tu saya kenal you memang buat bisnes dan you memang banyak idea. Sebab kita ada juga data kan, saya tahu saya nak sebut nama ni pun tak sedap juga. Tapi I think macam jangan teragak-agak lah sekarang ni. Kita akan sediakan ekosistem tu, ICC pun mentor. Kita ada banyak support system tau sebenarnya selagi kita dalam UTM tu kan Dr. Adib kan. yang you tak akan dapat kalau you keluar UTM. Saya tak tahulah. Kadang saya tanya juga, kalau nak bisnes, kenapa tak keluar UTM? Tinggalkan UTM, you buat business full time. Tapi ada benda you dapat daripada dalam UTM. Contohnya macam Dr. Adib kata tadi kan. Sinergi tu kan. You ada problem. Kadang problem tu kita tak ada semua pengetahuan untuk selesaikan masalah tu dengan baik. Kan? Jadi kita perlukan kawan-kawan kita yang lain. Dan itu kita boleh dapat daripada UTM. Betul kan Dr. Adib kan? Dan
Betul,
juga
Prof.
dia ada cycle dia. Apa yang kita belajar daripada kita mungkin tak tahu 100% lah. Sebab dia life punya problem ni dia bukan teori kan. Dia ada banyak benda yang kita tak jangka kan. In fact dengan saya punya ni pun ada banyak benda yang saya tak jangka. Tapi daripada situ kita akan ada problem tu kita akan belajar, kita akan dia pun tak boleh, industri pun tak semua boleh buat macam kita. Sebab bila dia ada problem, kita akan study kan. Kita akan baca paper, kita akan test dekat dalam lab kita, eksperimen barulah kita bagi keluar kan benda tu kan. Jadi benda tu universiti boleh buat dengan baik kan, compared tu kalau kita serah pada industri sebab mungkin dia tak ada duit nak buat research yang tinggi lah mungkin yang boleh dibuat oleh universiti dan pelajar-pelajarnya dan researchers dalam universiti tu ya. Jadi saya rasa memang kita perlukan ekosistem antara spin off dan juga apa research yang dibuat dalam universiti. Jadi kalau tak ada apa-apa, sekali lagi Fakulti Kejuruteraan mengucapkan terima kasih ya kepada Dr. Adib ya. Saya boleh kata walaupun you dah spend dekat Delft tu dekat Holland, tapi you pun boleh kita kata homegrown lah ya, daripada ada graduate di UTM, master di UTM ya. Sama macam Datuk Fauzi kan. Dia pun homegrown, undergraduate, master dan PhD buat kat luar. Kan betul lah. Jadi kita banggalah dengan talent kita macam Dr. Adib. Jadi saya doakan Dr. Adib terus dan kumpulan dan terus cemerlang dari segi research dan dari segi perkomersialan research tu dan you akan hasilkan benda-benda yang lebih besar impactnya kepada negara especially dalam era fourth IR ni lah kalau saya pun macam benda saya boleh fikirlah macam mana bila ada IoT tu dan digabungkan pula dengan algoritma pemrosesan algoritma, terlampau banyak benda yang kita boleh buat sebenarnya. Terlampau banyak, betul kan? Tak cukup tangan je nak buat kan? Nak buat ke tidak. Jadi kalau saya boleh macam-macam benda boleh fikir kan. Sebab kadang orang beli je alat, beli je IoT, beli je kan. Tapi macam mana konten tu kan? Konten tu saya rasa universiti boleh buat dengan sangat baik. Jadi saya harap Dr. Adib pun boleh buka peluang kepada researchers lain untuk bekerjasama dengan
InsyaAllah.
Okey, jadi kalau tak ada apa-apa, saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada semua Dr. Adib dan semua yang hadir dan juga Fakulti Kejuruteraan. Okey, jadi Dr. Marani, thanks for your comment. Nanti I hope you are also willing to share. Kita dengar pengalaman macam-macam orang. Ni daripada SKE ni dah 2 dah. Mungkin kita dengar daripada SKT pun SKT, SC Dr. Af, Dr. Razib dan lain-lain yang saya rasa merupakan kawan-kawan kita yang berjaya lah dari segi spin off. Jadi kalau tak ada apa, saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada semua. Jadi kita akhiri dengan tasbih kifarah dan surah As. Okay, terima kasih semua. Assalamualaikum.
Terima kasih semua. Waalaikumsalam.
Terima kasih Dr. Adib.
Terima kasih.